I usually don't really weigh in on Ronnie2K drama, but I don't usually weigh in on Ronnie2K stuff. But he said something about Flight, and I think the clip I saw was something about him saying like he made Flight, or like Flight only exists because Ronnie2K does what he does. Without Ronnie2K, Flight doesn't matter. And in my head, I'm like, you do realize Flight like does a lot of stuff, right? When I think of people that should be in the same conversation as Flight's name from a content standpoint, or people that he leans on for content heavily, one of the main people that I think of more recently out of all like famous people, probably Luka Doncic, because he couldn't say his name right and he kept thinking that he wasn't going to be like that. Then he was like that. He's like, hold on a second. He's actually tough. But before then, it was either LeBron or, more known, Curry. He loves Curry. Hasn't met him in real life yet, but he loves Curry. That's so if Stephen Curry sat there and said, I'm not gonna lie, I didn't make Flight, but a lot of Flight stuff matters because I matter. Yeah, Curry can say that. I can't tell you the last time Flight sat there and said, oh, F Ronnie2K, except when everybody does it when 2K drops and they don't like the updates. That's the only logic behind it that I could imagine.
Being the face of the most popular sports video game in the world, and instead of getting love from the millions of people all over the planet who play the game, you manage to find yourself being the one who constantly gets the blame for every problem the game has, which leads to you getting a lot of unprovoked hate, but now that's all starting to seem not so unprovoked.
I just ran into Ronnie in the elevator on the way up here. I should have packed him up for
Stop it. Stop it. We might as well play 2K. Nah, but I ain't like how he did my man's Flight. Ronnie was wildin'. Nah, I played 2K though. But Ronnie walked out for that. I ain't gonna lie, that was a crazy thing to say.
He literally went online and said, agent came to America because of me. I had like 8 other petitioners.
Yo.
Why'd you do that?
I think he is, bro.
Yeah.
Bro, I don't think he bigger than the program, bro. That's a problem.
But the question is, what has Ronnie2K done over the years to make an entire community of gamers hate him, and how is he now making this all worse? Well, that's probably what you're here to figure out, but first, if you're new to the channel, don't forget to hit that subscribe button to join the trap house with the biggest trapper, and while you're at it, don't forget to click that very first link down below in my description to join my Discord server and become an official member. Okay, so to start, for those of you that don't know who Ronnie2K is, he's now the head of lifestyle and content marketing for NBA 2K, but he would originally start his career working for the company back in 2008 as the community manager for the popular basketball video game that would only continue to grow over the years. You see, when Ronnie first started working for the company back in 2008, things were much different than they are now, specifically within the game. For those of you who were alive at the time, obviously gaming has never been perfect, and every game had its problems, especially games that released in 2008. But the thing was, during this time, there wasn't many people, if any at all, running to social media every time their game had a minor problem, whether it was like a small glitch or something in the game. People weren't going to go to Twitter and type paragraphs and tag the developers telling them what the issues was with the game. The closest thing we probably got to this back in 2008 was like the nerds who literally just spent their days sitting in online chat rooms or forums about the games they were playing, which ironically is how Ronnie2K ended up getting a job interview with the company in the first place. Now, originally his job was just to manage the forums because that's what he was doing at the time. He was typing about 2K in the forums and they liked the information that he was putting out, so they hired him to be the community manager of their forums. But as social media and gaming continued to grow, everything would change for Ronnie and 2K as a whole around 2014. You see, when games like NBA 2K14 would launch, this was the start of next generation gaming on consoles like the Xbox One and PS4. And when 2K14 released on October 1st, 2013, this would be the first introduction that the world would get to the popular game mode Mod Park, which completely changed 2K and really content creation in general. You see, as the years progressed, 2K would become more and more popular, creating some of the biggest content creators in the world that we all know and love today. But the problem that 2K eventually ran into was that while the game was getting more and more popular each year, the people who were playing this game and creating content based around this game believed that the game was getting progressively worse each year. And that was due to the developers not really listening to what the community wanted and fixing some of the issues that we were all complaining about.
I'm gonna be the voice for y'all, chat. What changes do 2K need to make? Ronnie, chat, is crazy because Ronnie's standing right behind the camera, but he don't want to be shown. Yes! Lower the VC prices, goddamn!
That is a good point.
Nah, no, 2K lower the VC prices, add on Fire NBA Jam, make defense better, take out the side steals, and add me. Why you? No, yo, you see what you do? 2K, no, don't cut that out. Chad, you see what you do, right? So when it comes to making adjustments, she want to step out of the frame. Now me and you in this together.
I am, but like, you know.
Oh, okay.
I work for 2K.
I work for 2K too. That's why I'm here.
I don't want to step on anybody's.
I'm not stepping on anybody's toes. I'm trying to make it right.
So guess who all of this blame ends up falling on? Of course, it's the one and only Ronnie2K. Over the years, every missed jump shot, bad animation, glitch, server issue, anything possibly wrong with 2K was all blamed on Ronnie. And while he has nothing really to do with any of the gameplay development, he's still the community manager whose entire job is to listen to feedback from the community and get it over to the devs to ensure these complaints will be fixed, but it seemed like that never happened.
He's really the fall guy.
It seemed like Ronnie just used this title as community manager in order to just grow his own personal brand. He's gained over 1.5 million followers on Twitter and over 1 million followers on Instagram, literally branding himself as the face of 2K. While other community managers of much more
the face of NBA 2K is crazy to say.
Unknown. Like, I've been a huge Call of Duty gamer my entire life. I started my whole channel being based around Call of Duty. I don't know if any of you were even around for that, but the point I'm trying to make is I literally couldn't tell you the Call of Duty manager's name if I wanted to. Like, obviously I could look it up, but like, no one's dying in Call of Duty and instantly yelling the community manager's name. It just doesn't happen. Meanwhile, Ronnie, on the other hand, has seemed to make himself into like some E-list celebrity over the last 10 to 12 years. But with this level of stardom, of course comes even more drama and hate, but this time around, I think it started becoming a bit more deserved. You see, over the years, Ronnie has said a lot of things and made a lot of promises to the community that all just ended up being flat out lies. From underwater parks supposedly being in the game, to Yeezys getting added as a shoe option, which was a pretty big thing at the time because Yeezys were super popular, to also being able to respec your build, which also was another huge thing because people didn't want to keep spending money to make new builds. And of course, the most infamous lie of his entire career, which is when he said that the park was going to be different from 2K19 to 2K20 after people literally seen that it was the same park in the trailer, and when the game released, it did indeed end up being the same as that park.
You know, the other thing that we get to do next year is finally Yeezys are coming to NBA 2K17.
Amazing. I wonder if they'll go as fast in the game as they go in the store.
My understanding is that you can completely rebuild your guy from scratch and use the VC that you had used to build your guy originally to just use him. People are talking about lowering VC prices. Remember, guys, that like Cash and I talked about this earlier. You can respec all your builds. So like, if you don't want to build 17 my players, you don't have to. You can respec them. People.
This is bad. This is heinous to look at, because I like to give everybody the benefit of the doubt when things first start out. But when you're Ronnie2K, right, you are one of the faces, as you put in your own Twitter bio, the face of 2K, NBA 2K, right? You put yourself in the line of fire. You chose the line of fire. You chose the battlefield. You fired off the first shot and gave away your position. So you can't really go back and complain that everybody's jumping on you now. It's what you signed up for. It's what you put yourself in position to have to deal with. And to sit there and try and be like, oh no, woe is me, is kind of disingenuous and crazy, in my personal opinion, of course. The bigger issue, I understand he doesn't have anything to really do with the actual development, right? He's just the face. He's just the guy that sits there. You have complaints, you have issues, you have compliments, whatever you have. You feed it to Ronnie2K. Ronnie relays it to the development team. They cook something up. They say, hey, this is what we can do. This is what we can't do. Tell everybody. And his job is to go out there and tell everybody. So I'm willing to give him the benefit of the doubt and say, okay, he thought that you were going to be able to respec your builds. You were going to be able, there was going to be certain changes in the game, right? And they just didn't end up happening because something happened on the back end. But the fact that he never comes out and says, hey, so it's not going to happen and XYZ is the reason why, that's where he just takes the L, because he doesn't try and defend himself. He doesn't try and explain or clarify or let people know. If people are letting you know and then you're saying something's going to happen If it's not going to happen, that's fine, but you have to communicate back to those people. It's not a one-way walkie-talkie. It's not a one-way line. It's two-way. You got to talk to people because they're expecting things of you and your development teams. And if you want to sit there and brand yourself as the face of the development team, hey, you have something that you need help with, ask me, tell me. And then you say something and it doesn't end up being true, you look like a liability. And now everybody hates you. Justly and unjustly so. Kind of a tweener situation.
Like, jump to conclusions on what they saw in terms of the neighborhood in this trailer. That's not the neighborhood, but you guys can think whatever you want.
Now, of course, all of these were lies, which only made the NBA 2K community build more and more hatred towards Ronnie. But it wasn't only content creators and gamers that had some sort of resentment towards him, because things have been so bad with Ronnie over the years that even some actual NBA players will begin to call him out.
Basically.
Let's get right into it. Let's get right into it. What's your rating?
I just ran into Ronnie in the elevator on the way up here. I should have packed him up for.
Stop it. Stop it. That's not even stop it. Stop it. Why you ain't press him in?
Shout out to Ronnie2K.
Oh, now you want to pick him up. Yo, no, if you want to say get that shit together, bro, say that.
This usually takes place whenever the NBA players don't really agree with their overall ratings, and Ronnie probably isn't even the one who makes the overall, but he's the one who reveals it and posts about it and things like that. So of course all of the NBA players are just putting the blame on him. But he did even end up getting into a more serious situation with former NBA crash out DeMarcus Cousins, after Ronnie will forget that he was still alive and say some pretty negative things about DeMarcus's character.
Is that weird though?
Ah, shit. Cousins didn't get an Elgato.
What?
Oh, that's not good.
What?
Cousins didn't get an Elgato, so he can't play tonight.
He didn't what?
He didn't receive an Elgato. They didn't ship these fucking packages right. Everybody's missing pieces.
You're lying.
So that's not good. That's gonna set us back.
Okay, well that at least answers that we only do 2 on Friday. Then the rest.
That's assuming that Cousins is such a dick. Like, I could see him just being like, I don't want to fucking do this.
No way.
Not to mention his matchup would be annoying too. It's NBA players that are carving out their time.
This led to DeMarcus Cousins responding on Twitter with a tweet insinuating that Ronnie had messed up. And of course, once Ronnie seen this tweet and realized what had happened, he would instantly take the
Bro, in a moment of work stress, I said something super dumb that wasn't at all how I feel about you. My bad, and I sincerely apologize. Let's have some fun starting this weekend, bring the action, and see if you can get crowned. Yo, he jumped on that PR train. I understand, though. If you're Ronnie2K, you kind of have to, you got to call off the dogs, be like, yo, bro, it wasn't supposed to be like that. It's smooth. Bet. It's just one of those things, you gotta clear the air and let everybody know, And DeMarcus Cousins being 6'10", 250, 260-ish, probably did have something to do with it. Because, if you're Ronnie2K, he's a pretty tall guy. He's not the buffest guy, but, he's not the buffest or the tallest or strongest guy. But, he's a sizable personality. So I understand. And you also have to kind of clear yourself up, especially when you make a blunder like that, right? Because your career is on the line effectively. When you make mistakes like that, you get caught, just slipping.
Twitter to cop the plea and of course apologize for everything that he said, blaming it on work stress. Over the years, it just seems like as 2K became more popular and completely started dominating the basketball scene, Ronnie would start becoming more and more arrogant alongside it, as if he was the one who was attaining these new heights by himself. We all know that this wasn't the case at all. It was just the growing popularity of 2K, and that mostly came from it being the only basketball game being released after NBA Live just completely disappeared. As a community manager, your number one job is to listen to the community, listen to the feedback and tips and things that they have, and try to get any complaints and things that you constantly see online over to the dev team in order to get it fixed. But it seems like Ronnie doesn't do this at all. And of course, probably the most important part of this job is actually being liked by the community that you're attempting to manage. which we know he isn't really liked by many people in the 2K community. So with Ronnie being borderline terrible at his job, you may be wondering, how hasn't he been fired yet? Why does 2K still keep him around if things are this bad?
Because people
Better
keep
yet,
buying
forget
2K.
getting fired and all of that. How has he managed to get these 2 to 3 promotions that he's gotten over the past 17 years when it seems like he doesn't do his job much at all? Well, the short answer is the game is still doing better than ever. While most of us hate 2K and constantly talk trash about 2K and things like that, the game's still selling and doing record-breaking numbers as well. So in the eyes of 2K, Ronnie's doing great at his job. He's keeping the community engaged, whether it's good or bad. He hasn't had any crazy accusations or drama or controversies, anything like that. The biggest issues that Ronnie's had since he's been working for 2K has been 2 run-ins with 2 different content creators that managed to go a little too far. One started with the popular creator who goes by the name of Agent 00, who I'm sure most of you probably know from the popular group AMP. For those of you who don't know, before AMP became what it is today, most of the members were some of the biggest 2K creators in the world, and Agent specifically is someone who has played and created content out of every 2K game mode dating all the way back to the early days of 2K17. And the thing about Agent is he's always shared his opinions on the game. He's talked about drama and news going on within the community. He's always done this in the most respectful way possible, but things would change after he dropped a video on January 25th, 2021 titled Goodbye NBA 2K. You see, in this video, he simply talked about all of the issues and things that were going on with 2K over the years, and he also mentioned how the company refuses to fix these same ongoing recurring problems.
Because everybody keeps
And
buying
while
it.
he was mentioning all of these issues and giving his honest opinions, he did all of this in the most respectful way possible. He didn't raise his voice, he didn't cuss much, he didn't do any of that, but somehow this video would still end up completely tarnishing his relationship with 2K. After Ronnie would get on stream and make the bold statement that Agent should be grateful for him and everything he's done because Agent wouldn't even be in America if it wasn't for him.
In America, if it wasn't for me, I helped him with a visa, and now, like, you guys don't know the full story. Like, I helped him with a visa so he could come to America. I wrote him a letter, and then he has the audacity to continue to
hold you accountable,
act poorly towards me. So yeah, I don't really like that very much. If I do you a favor of such a magnitude, that's a problem. So, and he can say whatever he wants. He knows the truth.
And Agent will refer to this exact moment just a few days ago on stream when he was talking about an ongoing situation that Ronnie's currently in with a different content creator.
When you know when you get a visa, you have to get, like, companies you work with, stuff like that, you reach out to them, see if they can make you a petition, and you add it on, like, as evidence, like, this is what I do for work. So I asked 2K, like, literally, that's the game, like, if y'all could petition, it would help. And so he did. Dope. But then he literally went online and said, Agent came to America because of me. Nigga, I had like 8 other petitioners.
Yo.
That's
Yo,
crazy.
that nigga,
why'd you
who the
do
fuck
that?
does this nigga think he is, bro?
Yeah.
Ronnie think he bigger than the program, bro. That's a
For
problem.
you?
Ronnie2K.
Nasty.
And all of that drama between him and Ronnie also led to Agent never getting invited to Community Day again. And for those of you that don't know, Community Day is an event that NBA 2K hosts like a week before the game comes out, where they invite all of the top influencers and creators and things like that who play 2K, and they allow them to do like a play test of the game a week early and get videos out before everyone else, which is obviously a huge advantage if you're a creator who makes videos based around 2K. It used to be a very big thing where all of the big creators in the community were actually getting invited. Now it's really just a bunch of people that you have to be tapped in with 2K to really know about, and that's because 2K stopped inviting people who share their real opinions and things like that on the game. Like if you say the game's trash or you just genuinely don't like the game, you're not getting invited. You literally have to be on your hands and knees glazing them for the entire year in order to get an invite to Community Day. And this is actually exactly how Ronnie ended up in his very long running beef with the popular creator Flight Reacts. Now we all know who Flight Reacts is. He started his career playing games like NBA Live, Madden, and of course NBA 2K. And then he would later switch to reactions where he saw insane amounts of success. But over the years, he's one of the only big creators who really stayed true to 2K and continuously posted and streamed the game over the entire course of his career. And with this, Flight thought that he deserved some type of recognition from 2K. He's probably the biggest creator that still plays the game consistently.
That's fair.
So all Flight simply wanted was a Community Day invite or a logo within the game. And once again, just for some insight, 2K gives logos to different celebrities, athletes, creators, things like that, just for people to be able to verify who they are when they're playing online in the park, which is obviously a pretty good feature because it is cool to see like an NFL player or an NBA player in the park and go play against them and things like that. But anyways, Flight is someone who always kept it real and always going to speak his mind, whether it's good or bad. So that led to him always expressing his two feelings about 2K. If it was trash, he's going to say it's trash. If there's an issue, he's going to say there's an issue. And of course, 2K as a company doesn't like that much at all. So this led to Flight constantly getting denied for logos, constantly getting denied for invites to community day, because once again, you literally have to glaze them to get any type of recognition. But when 2020 came, Flight literally hit the peak of his career, and it became borderline impossible to deny his success or overlook him anymore, which led to Ronnie2K trying to patch things up with Flight reacts on social media. But by this time, according to—
Ain't no way he said that. Check your DMs. I'm so proud of your growth and the community, and I want to see you involved, so I want to talk to you. Hit me up.
the Flight himself, it was simply too late. Now this was a great response by Flight because they tried to wait till it was like more beneficial for them to like give him the logo and things like that. And he stood on all 10 and didn't fall for the bait. So this is what all led to Flight Reacts completely just bashing 2K, Mike Wang, and of course Ronnie whenever he got the chance. And for the longest time, no one really even said anything about it up until recently. You see, NBA 2K just released, and so far it's been one of the better 2K releases in the last 6 years. And I guess with the success that the game is having, Ronnie2K is feeling even more egotistical than usual, because while on a recent stream with Aiden Ross, he will finally address the situation he has going on with Flight, and spoiler alert, what he said was very disrespectful.
Bro, Ronnie, I want to get you and Flight together, bro. That's gotta happen, bro, one day.
Well, I'm happy to do it.
I know.
But it's sort of his entire existence, though, right?
What do you mean?
Isn't his entire, like, identity to hate me? So, like, if he doesn't hate me, then what is he? I guess he's also the inspirational.
Flight, look.
You know what I mean? Like,
I know. Okay, I get what you're saying, but like, Flight got like, okay. The thing about Flight, no. I get what you're saying, but no. Like, his thing is like the game is shit. You know, all this stuff. But I don't think it's directly towards you. Like, if y'all kicked it off camera and dapped up, he would think it's smooth. You know what I mean? But Flight, nah. I feel like it's.
I'm happy to.
I don't feel like his whole thing is just hating, bashing, you know, 2K.
What I'm saying is, if he didn't bash 2K or me or Mike or whoever, what would his social identity be?
I mean,
literally everything else that he does. Tell me you're not tapped in with social culture without telling me you're not tapped in with social culture. There it is. Even early on in his career, Flight played sports games in general. He didn't shy away from NBA Live. That as Bando said, he didn't shy away from NBA Live, 2K, Madden. He played anything. He played all the games. Then he started doing reacts, right? And a lot of people that weren't there for his early game type days, they know him more for his reactions than anything, right? So you saying, oh, his entire identity is hating 2K and hating me, brother, he's one of the few content creators that continues to play 2K. He criticizes you and he says that he's hot because y'all don't fix certain things, but he still plays the game because he still likes the game and he wants to like the game. He's just calling out what he sees. If you want a bunch of yes men, then this isn't what you're here for. And to call a spade, there's a lot of, just in businesses in general, especially these days, everything's so focused on monetizing and pushing things to the top letter. You want the most money out of it. You don't want to just be an exceptional business. You don't want to just be a good business. You don't just want to be the best business. You want to be the greatest business ever. You want the most dollars you can get out of anybody. You want to penny pinch wherever you can and do it that way, right? Me personally, not my cup of tea. I don't stand for it. I don't really respect that thing. If that's what you do, that's what you do, right? And if you sleep well at night doing that, perfectly fine. You know what I'm saying? That's your prerogative. That's your choice to make. It's your life. Do what you will. But you can't sit there and be surprised when there's a polar opinion, when there's an opposite opinion, because that's natural. That's how existing works. If you sit there and everybody just agrees with you 100% of the time, they don't really like you. They don't want to see you be successful. They just want to leech off of you. They just want the benefits that you have. Real friends, real business partners, anybody genuine will tell you what they genuinely think. Even if they think you won't like it, they tell you anyways because they think it will be beneficial for you. And if you hear their opinion, you say, yeah, I hear you, but that's not really me. I hear you, but I don't really want to do all that. Then okay, fine. You made that conscious choice. But they could say, hey, I let you know. The moment you go to the point where you just sit there and discard all of that, that's where things get finicky. And him sitting here talking like this, even after Aiden tried to clear up, it's not a you issue. It's a he just doesn't like 2K sometimes. He doesn't like what happens with the development team and stuff like that sometimes. And you still try to double down and say, is it all he's known for, hating Ronnie2K? Do you really think he could be socially relevant by hating just you for 7, 8, 10 years? No. People aren't that simple-minded. That's not how it works. You don't matter that. Calling a spade, people don't rock with you that much. People don't give a care about Ronnie2K like that. Not to sit there and lock in on an individual content creator whose entire personality is hating Ronnie2K. Really? That's the best logic your brain could keep up. You're so self-centric. Your brain is smooth.
FTC Flight, he's just Flight's, in my opinion, Flight my top 3 all time.
Now, Ronnie's basically saying that Flight is a nobody without hating on 2K, which we all know just isn't true at all. Many people that watch Flight probably don't even know about the beef he has with 2K unless they watch his 2K videos. So to say a person who was arguably the biggest person on the internet in 2020 is nothing without a video game is pretty bizarre to say, and of course, Flight wouldn't let this slide at all.
Bro, you know when niggas be saying shit and they trying so hard to be like these, like to get the nigga that they talking to agree, like, hey, don't you agree with me? Ain't I cooking right now? Bro, Aiden is not agreeing with you, bro. Nobody's agreeing with you, Ronald. Nigga, Ronald, without 2K, Flight will still be Flight. Without 2K, what's Ronnie gonna do? Watch your motherfucking mouth. You literally just disrespected my 14, 15 years of existence on this YouTube and stream.
My fault. I didn't even mean to play. I said 7, 8, 9, 10 years. 14, 15 years. My apologies. Flight is one of them ones, right? He's up in there with those talks with your Illuminatis, right? He's one of them ones. He's one of them OGs. That's Unk them. You know what I'm saying? He's one of them. He got a family and everything, but you still what? He gave us so many memes, bro. Flight's just one of those ones. So he did clock it right there. What is Ronnie without 2K? That's the only thing we know you for, bro. You don't have a podcast. You don't have a talk show. You're Ronnie2K. It's not Flight 2K. It's just Flight.
Shit. Watch your motherfucking mouth, Ronald. You add a few new features in 2K that should have been in the motherfucking game for the last 5 years that the community been complaining about. And you're talking different, nigga? Humble yourself, nigga.
Even other creators from all around the community would begin to share their opinion on this situation as well, and they will all agree that Ronnie was indeed tripping.
Play 2K, chat, I would, but
nah, we might as well play 2K.
Nah, but I ain't like how he did my man's Flight. Ronnie was wildin'. Nah, I play 2K though. But Ronnie walked out for that. I ain't gonna lie, that was a crazy thing to say.
Yo, you heard what Ronnie2K said about Flight?
I didn't see it. I sent the clip to myself, but I didn't see it yet.
I ain't gonna, bro, that shit was weird. Like, he was talking to Aiden. He was saying, yeah, but like, what is Flight without talking shit about me? He just know, he basically saying he's essentially only known for shit talking to me. What would he be known for if I wasn't like a thing? I ain't gonna lie, I told Aiden, I'm like, you should have told that nigga he's a fucking retard right there to his face.
What was that? Was that live?
Yeah, it was live. Bro. And nobody pressed that nigga. I don't understand. That nigga should have got pressed right there on that call, bro.
Yeah, man. Hey, yo, Ronnie already got like a bad public image to people who love 2K in public. This gonna be even worse, Ronnie. Y'all know Ronnie, every time you go in public, people always harassing about 2K, fixing servers and stuff. Bro, you just blatantly disrespect FTC. I gotta go with FTC on this right here, though. Curry can't even go in public right now without getting some type of FTC love. This ain't gonna be well, Ronnie.
So now we're at the point where it's basically impossible for Ronnie and Flight to ever patch up whatever it is they have going on. And Ronnie hasn't said anything about this situation since. He's probably not going to. But this has all definitely caused Ronnie to get a lot of hate and criticism online from the community, which once again is kind of deserved, because as a community manager or former community manager, whatever the case is, you should know that dissing one of the most loved people within the communities just isn't going to end well for anyone that would have said that, let alone Ronnie2K. But that's just my personal opinion. As you guys know, the only opinion that I really care about is y'all's opinion. So with that being said, be sure to comment down below. What do you...
Not a miss to be heard. Not a miss to be heard. But yeah.